Hey, what's up, guys? You're not gonna believe what I'm doing today. I'm about to embark on a school bus adventure. I'm looking for my bus now. I got the paperwork here. I'm looking for the number. Hopefully it'll be easy to find. Well, hell, there it is right there. That was easy to find, wasn't it? Looks like it's a short bus. Won't be the first time I've ever rode one of those. Let's see what we got. Let's see what it looks like. You know, I wish school buses would still stick shift. That's just me, though. Let's see if it has any tunes. Sure does. You know, they're putting seat belts in these school buses nowadays. Luckily, the thing has air conditioning. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys ever slept on a school bus, but right here on the floor is a good spot. But yet, I like to take and put the upper part of my body here and kick my legs back here. See how it's at an angle? That's how I sleep. It's not the best sleep in the world, but you know, you're not gonna wake up with snakes crawling on you and spiders and stuff. But yeah, these are the school buses for truck movers I'm picking up. I'm only gonna get one. I'm looking it over. You know, while I'm here, let's look at a few more of these buses. Just for shits and giggles. No one's gonna see me. Let's see what this one looks like. This is a longer one. I think this one right here is a 71 passenger. Let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. This is a longer one. I don't really mind driving school buses, but I don't know. It's just me. So here's the frame to the school bus. And I'm gonna put my tow bar on here just as if it was a tractor sleeper. Just snap him right on there. And the lights here, I'm gonna take these screws out and then I'm gonna tap into the wiring on these guys. And that's how I'm gonna do my lights. I do have a box that I don't have to do that. It's a little switch box, but it's under repair. I got a guy working on that. It stopped working, so I'll hopefully have that next time. But so I haven't been in one of these school buses in a while, and needless to say, I didn't waste your time by me trying to figure out how in the hell to open and close the door, which it's right here. Look. Wow, that was so complicated. And here's the flashers. Check that out. Now I can flash people from the inside of the bus. There's the little stop signs. So, yeah, this is a learning experience. Man, it's been so long since I've done a new bus. I can't even remember how to do one. So now the next step is I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do a pre-trip. Basically, I got to go through this whole list of stuff. Hope this thing's in focus. There we go. Sit here and I do a pre-trip. Sign my name, sign my life away on the signature line down here. Check everything out. Gotta make sure everything is in this thing that's on this list, if there's anything on here that needs to be in here. That's a definite positive thing to do. On these school buses, I sit here and I really have to look these guys over, because these school bus people that receive these buses, they really look them over. Probably better than I do, because you know their job is on the line. Me, it's just money on the line. I went to school, they didn't have a stop stick. In some of these places here in the US, you're supposed to climb up there and mark out school bus with tape, but I'd be damned if I'm gonna do that. They can just kiss it. I ain't doing it. I really don't see any damage, but I'm gonna pause this and really look it over with a fine-tooth comb. And I got my tow vehicle today. Alright, I'm going to show you what I found. This right here is undercoating that somebody had on their glove. They touched the side of the bus. Right here, undercoating. I mean, that's not a big deal, but I definitely don't want to get my ass chewed about this. Right here, here's a small little chip from, it was a glob of paint and then it just chipped off. They said, oh, these buses aren't that big of a deal. I'm like, yeah, okay. Look at this, more undercoating. There's a thumbprint. So, chips. Chip there. There's a chip there. So I write all that crap down. I ain't even playing. I ain't gonna say, oh well, you chipped the paint on this raggedy ass school bus. And then right here, look at this. This is poor paint job right here. See how when they was painting, they just didn't paint, they didn't spray upward. So I'm not gonna mark that. I'm gonna leave that. I didn't paint the thing, but they won't see this because a bug will be plastered all over this. And then look at this. They left tape up there. I'm not a perfectionist or anything, but I recently took a Volvo truck out to Las Vegas, and they just nitpicked the shit out of the Volvo truck. And I tell you, it really made me look bad, because that thing, I missed a lot of stuff because I was in a hurry and I was tired. This lady over here has a limp. But see, look at this guy. He's looking his stuff over. He's checking it all out. He's been here and done this. Okay. He's like, I'm gonna slip between here and take a pee. Alright. So I made it to the point of putting the hitch on the frame. So there it is there. I'm gonna get up underneath here. I'm gonna save you from the grunts and moans from me trying to get on the ground and get up underneath there. So hang on. Alright, so I have got all these bolts tightened down. It's pinching the frame. You can see that. And you can see that when I put this on here, I purposely put it off center. See how it's bigger on this side than that side there? It's so I could look out the driver's side of the bus and see that my vehicle's still back there, because I'm not for sure if it's noticeable from the little back window on the bus. And another thing, I'll try to wear a hat when I crawl up underneath here, because I just got done cussing this bar right here because I slammed my head into it. And if I wouldn't have had a hat on, I would have cut my head open. So, and then you can see here I haven't even put a ball or pintle or anything on there yet. It's really hard to get this thing into focus because I'm so close and I'm up underneath this thing. These are the typical tools that I use to crawl up underneath the truck or even bolt the thing on. I always get these things out. 2 wrenches, my ratchet. This ratchet, check this ratchet out. See, you could tighten something by just twisting it. See that? And that is really good for tight places. I bought this ratchet at Walmart, and then it also works as a normal ratchet, you know, but it has this twisty handle here, and that is so brilliant. And then I like one of my 3/4 wrenches I always use is a ratchet wrench, and that goes to this guy here. So that's all he does. And then this guy here, he tightens the bigger nut here. And then this hammer, when I'm tightening something, I put the wrench on there. Let me see if I could do it. Well, I take the hammer and I hit the wrench, and you can see all these scars. So I hit the wrench with the plastic part of the handle, a couple of bumps just to get it tight. And then I use a DeWalt 20-volt impact, and the socket has tape on it so I know that it's the one, you know. And then I spray paint my handle red on my hammer because I tend to like to lose those and leave those places in the snow. So, and then pins, like the pin that goes in this hole, I use bolts, washers, and then my nut. Some people call them like an aircraft nut, but it has a piece of plastic in there so the nut won't back off. And I get these at Tractor Supply, and I could get a whole handful for like a few bucks. You go to Home Depot, you get 2 or 3 for like $4 or $5. It's ridiculous. But I buy these by the handful because I leave them laying and then they wear out, and then I just chuck them across the lot. So this is what I went with to hook my tow bar up to. I have the tow bar, it's set up for a pintle, but all I have to do is just remove these 2 bolts with my impact and my 3/4 inch wrench. It only takes a few minutes. And so I went with this because I eyeballed it, and I think it's at the perfect height. So this other thing, the pintle, would have put it up a little higher than I want it because I like it, the tow bar as level as possible. And that's just, I think that's how I should always do it. I mean, everyone is different, but that's how I like to do it. I like it level, the tow bar with the ball. So now I removed the pintle I had on there just a second ago, and I'm going to slap it on the ball, make sure everything lines up good. And you know, another thing I do is these zip ties. I use side cutters to cut the zip ties instead of a pocket knife, because the knife gets dulled real easily. You know, if you're like bumping metal and stuff like that with the pocket knife. So that's what I use. So hooking up to this is not a perfect science. I mean, see how I pulled my vehicle too far up? So if I was paying a little bit more attention, I could have had it back 6 more inches. And these guys right here will adjust out to the vehicle. So, you know, I'm just showing you a mistake I just made. Okay, to fix the mistake I just made, I just backed the vehicle up, kept it straight, it dropped right on the ball. Well, I think you get the point. It's hard to do stuff with one hand, but I'm gonna latch that, then I'll back up the vehicle while it's latched to extend these bars out. Because when I pull out of this slot, I gotta circle the lot to go out of that gate. So I don't want my bars to be flopping all over the freaking place pulling through this lot. But once you go forward, they'll automatically latch anyway. But I just want to make sure, you know, that they latch correctly. I don't want any mistakes. Mistakes cost me money. Okay, I just backed up my vehicle and it made these right here pop up. And that means it's in the locked position. See how that one's locked and that one's locked? But even if one of these is locked, you could take and pull the vehicle, you know, in this situation it's bus, you can pull the vehicle up and hang a right or a left and it will latch it, I mean within feet. So I mean, you can do that, that's an option. But right now, right here, it's ready to tow. Now I got to work on safety chains and lights. All right, got the chains on there. I took and I'm not gonna crawl back up underneath there because it sucks. But I ran a chain up, there's the frame right in here. And I took and wrapped the chain around the frame, my tow bar, and then brought the chain out. This guy, I brought the chain out and ran it over to the other chain, looped it around, and tied it in with that. That's only for pretty much looks, because I don't want my chain hanging down and dragging and anything. So this chain right here is hooked to another chain that's wrapped around the frame. That's the one that if this vehicle ever breaks away, it's going to hold it. Then it goes back to my vehicle, ran up underneath there, hooked to the subframe that's, you know, holding the transmission and the motor in. So it's wrapped around that dude, and then it's ran back out and ran back up over the frame, over my tow bar and all, and hooked to itself. So the one in the middle is kind of for looks, just, you know, so that shit won't be hanging down. And you can see how the tow bar is level. See how it's level? And that's how it should be. So, in my opinion. But I haven't put zip ties around these hooks, which I always put a zip tie around the hook, because they could just easily shake off going down the road. Then you start dragging it, and that's no good. So next is lights. All right, wiring. So this is how I do it. I take all the screws and lay the damn screws on the ground. See them down there? I take all the screws out to access the wires. All right, so I pull one from over here on the right, two from this side, which I was in such a rush I pulled the wrong one. What a moron. So anyway, the orange one over here, the amber in color, that's the one I should have took off. But I'm trying to do this really fast and get out of here. And see, I'm already starting to make mistakes. This is starting to get silly. But anyway, what you do, you pull off the one on the right, the amber, pull off the amber. This is your tail and brake. So, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, I got these. This is my little box. These are called Posi Taps, and you could get them off of eBay. And see if I can do this one-handed. So, okay, you see that groove right there? The wire goes in that groove. There's a little needle right there that pokes into the wire, and no one is none the wiser that you tapped into the wiring. So then you take your wire and stick it in there, and it has threads on here, and the threads screw down into there, into this device, and basically it taps into the wire. And I'll show you once I have everything tapped and wired up to the bus itself. I'll show you what it looks like, but for right now you just got to hold on and wait. Okay, I got my wiring done. Took a little longer than I thought because I kept screwing up because I'm in a hurry. Every time I'm in a hurry I screw up. But anyway, my left is plugged into right here, the right. My tail lights is plugged into here. So your brown goes to black, white goes to white, your left goes to red, which is your hot. Then so on and so forth over here. My lights are working. So I'm done with that. Moving on. Okay, now I got everything put back together. This is how it's going to look. I took and tried to get this to stay away from the paint, the body on the bus. So what I'm trying to say is, see how it's staying away from the body? So over time it'll rub the paint off, and if you come across some jerk that's picky, it will be a bad day. So I used a screw gun on all these freaking screws, so I wasn't out here like screwing my off. But one light over there, that's just for that turn signal, which you can't see because it's turned around the other way. But here's another thing that I have. I have this reusable wire connector, and I had flipped a couple of these wires around. See the green and yellow? I flipped those around because when I put my magnet lights on my vehicle, I put them on backwards. So it's not a big deal. I just flipped the wires. So, and then I zip tied everything like I always do. All the chains. I don't want nothing to move. See how everything's zip tied? Nothing. And so this is the finished product. It took me forever because I was trying to videotape this whole thing. But anyway, all right, guys. Like and subscribe. You know, I've got more subscribers than I thought I'd ever get, and I'm real grateful that you guys like these videos and subscribe. I hope it's helping someone out there. But this is the end of the bus. Y'all be good, be safe, and go out there and make some damn money.